Hiya guys. Right, I'm banned again. I only lasted 2 days. 2 days. Basically, all I said that the British were cowards, and apparently that's worth a 7 day ban. Isn't it ironic though, or just I find it really odd that the people who argue with when you're debating back and forth, they can say whatever they want to you. They can call you whatever they want. And the minute you say anything, you'll be banned. It's just madness. The censorship is wild. So I did jump on my other two accounts just to check, but they're not working now either. So I definitely know they're connected. But they've given me my YouTube account back. So I had I think it was like, I don't know, about 10 days they blocked me off that. Um, but I'm allowed back on there, so I'll put this on YouTube, and I'll just wait for my 7 day ban. Um, I just wanted to do this one really because I did put a post about it, but just for the ones who didn't see it. Um, I watched, it was like a discussion a couple of days ago, and it had Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Dr. Judy Mikovits, and three other people that were on this discussion. A friend of mine sent it to me, it was one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever watched, but it was really really intense. But the point is I've a little thing with Judy Mikovits. I came across her about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd read an article about her, and there was a little video of her actually, and she was saying that they put her in prison and hadn't given her a trial, and I can't quite remember the details about it. It was something to do with HIV. At the time, I wasn't aware that HIV wasn't a virus. I wasn't aware of the virus lie, so it didn't sort of um, it didn't sort of resonate with me in that way. So I shared it, and somebody said, something about not trusting her and something else, and I just sort of let it go over my head. Anyway, since the beginning of this, and she's been seen in a lot of like the pandemic movies, and she's very popular in the alternative, especially. But I haven't. There was something not right, and I didn't. Not that I watched any of her things. I saw her on the odd thing, like in the film Pandemic and stuff, and I've seen one or two of her videos. So it wasn't so much that; it was just that something was putting me off, and so I didn't sort of cite any of her work, or I haven't promoted her. And this is why I instead promote Dr. Andrew Kaufman and the likes, because he's going straight for the jugular and the point of the whole thingy, whereas Judy Mikovits, she's still going along with the virus thing. Anyway, this debate was really heated, but Dr. Kaufman had some really valid points that Dr. Mikovits just couldn't answer, and she got really triggered, in everything, all of the things that I've seen her in. She's very sort of softly spoken, very calm. Nobody sort of ever challenged her on anything, except for now. And it was quite obvious how triggered she was. And but still, the question wasn't answered. And it's really worth a watch. But she gets sort of reels off her credentials at the end, and it's really, I didn't even actually watch it. I was listening to it because I felt it was really quite uncomfortable. But the point was, he was trying to make that she was agreeing with him on SARS-CoV-2 not being isolated and purified, but then she went on to say that she had purified viruses, which is and she also said that and all Andrew Kaufman was asking it was, can you give me the paper? Because he'd read all of her work, and there isn't to show complete isolation, as in isolation by definition from everything else, pulled from everything else. So it does get quite technical, and it's almost like it's done on purpose to sort of make us think that I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's when she said that she's isolated viruses that cause cancer and polio. I knew then, I thought, no, hang on a second. I know that I've studied those in depth. They're not caused by viruses. So that was a red flag. And then other people were saying she said some vaccines are okay and stuff in the past, which we know is nonsense. So I can't make my mind up if she's controlled opposition, or if she's invested so much of her time, obviously, in this, that she just sort of wants to hold on and doesn't want to let go of that. I can't make my mind up. I'm not sure. Anyway, so that was a couple of days ago. So last night I messaged Dr. Kaufman and, asked how he was, and just said that I'd watched the interview with him and Judy Mikovits. And would, if I could speak to him anytime soon, which he said yes, he would. So I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Kaufman, and I'm going to be asking him hopefully about this debate, because, the point still arose about, that the whole virus thing being isolated, and proof of any virus being isolated. And another really, and I've said it before, is Dr. Stefan Lanka. I put something on my wall. Have a look on my Facebook wall, Catherine E. Watkins account. I posted it last night. It was because I was thinking to myself the other day, I wonder what Stefan Lanka thinks of this. And then I was reading through a thread last night, and somebody had posted a link about what he's saying about it. So that was really interesting. It's a really, really good read. Saying the same thing, the virus lie. And it needs to come out. This is why I don't promote anyone who's still sort of pushing the germ theory, just because I don't see the point in confusing people. And if we're ever going to get over this hurdle of being, our freedoms being taken away over, an invisible enemy that happens to be a virus, they're just going to keep doing it over and over again, and it's going to keep happening. It has in the past, and it'll continue to happen until we learn the truth. So I personally don't see the point in sort of, promoting anything other. And if I had, I'm grateful that I went in the way I did, because like I've said before, I was still going off the germ theory myself, not quite realising for a long time, it's only when sort of a year and a half ago when I came across the germ theory, properly, the terrain theory, and it just clicked into place for me. But if I was to give anyone advice now moving forward, I would go in this way, learn the germ and the terrain theory. That way, a lot of it will sort of become clearer, rather than going the long way round. Although I gained a lot of knowledge, I'm really grateful for that, and that I've been able to give other people as well. It's just that now I think we're running out of time a little bit. Learn all these things later, but when you realise the germ theory is a lie, and it really is a lie, and you are going to have to go with, it's not something I can explain to you, or anyone can explain to anyone in 5-10 minutes out, if you've got a month of Sundays maybe, because you're going to have to go back further, because it's going to throw a whole load of other questions up for you. So you're going to have to go back and research those things and see what they actually were, opposed to what you were told they were. So really get on that germ and terrain theory is important. So yeah, this is a really, really short one actually. I was just wanted to say about that interview. I'll link that interview below the debate between and he ends up, Andrew Kaufman leaves, and I don't know, I'll find out when I interview him if he left of his own accord because he just wasn't getting anywhere, or whether he was cut off. I don't quite know. But it's on for about 2 hours, but the first 20 minutes Judy Mikovits isn't on there, and it's Andrew Kaufman and the other three. And then about 20 minutes in, she comes on. This sort of altercation happens for about 40 minutes, and then Andrew Kaufman disappears. But the point was, he challenged her on things that need to be challenged, because otherwise we're still peddling this lie. And like I say, it can go on, so we're going to call people out as and when, obviously, and sometimes that means people, with a large following and with a PhD and whatever else. Like I say, I don't know if it's intentional, intentionally misleading, as in controlled opposition, or whether Dr. Mikovits has just, like I say, invested so much time, and it's another one of those sort of, like it is a difficult thing to admit after, 40 years of what you've been doing. But I find it hard to believe that she wouldn't know that at the same time, so I just don't know. I'm going to leave it out there for you guys anyway. So yeah, hopefully in the next week or two I'll be interviewing Dr. Kaufman again, and really go through that debate, and again to the crux of this whole lie. We can't go anywhere from there. If there's no virus that's proven to cause this disease, which there isn't, then everything else from it has to be a lie. And it is. We can go into the PCR test, but the PCR test, as I've done a million times, it doesn't mean anything because you haven't got the virus anyway. Do you see? It can't go any more further forward than this. And I'll also link the Stefan Lanka thingy as well. That was a really good read. I'll link them both below, so just have a look. And then there was also a follow-up that Dr. Kaufman did with Dr. Tom Cowan as well. I think I've got that saved. I'll put that underneath this one. So this is going to go on YouTube, and I'll send it to a few of you in Facebook as well. So yeah, so that'll be interesting to see anyway. Right then, I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye.